wouldn't say there's been any big surprises. There's great people here, really talented team, and so I've been blessed to have a great team of faculty and staff around me, and people who love this institution like I do, and have been enormously helpful in getting me up to speed.
You know, you mentioned being an ambitious person. You know, do you have some goals, set for Hope College for yourself as a president that you're looking to achieve?
I do, and at this point, at this stage in my role, I'm kind of posing conversations and posing questions as opposed to saying these are specific things that I want us to do. Instead, I'm saying these are specific conversations I want us to have. And I've been laying out a few conversations for people here that I just want us to be focused on. One is diversity. I want us to really be having a conversation about diversity and inclusion and how we can create an inflection point where we change the momentum with regard to diversity. It feels like we've got our students here, and that's what it's all about, that we exist for our students. So now we've kind of we've got the energy and the life back on campus, which is great. How can we design a core curriculum at Hope College that's distinct? There's 1,000 other places you can go and get liberal arts. We want to be able to say that here you come and you get a special flavor of liberal arts, something that's distinct to Hope College. So this whole conversation around learning, how is it changing in the world and how should we think about it here at Hope College, I think is a fun conversation. As I said, I'm posing more questions than answers at this point, but the benefit I get in the early days of being a new president is I get to set the agenda. And so I'm saying I want to talk about these things: diversity, future of learning, future of work, future of business model of higher ed. Workplace is changing really rapidly, as you know. I want us to be an institution that's thinking about that. So we're not just thinking about academics, we're thinking about how we connect academics to the workplace. And then the business model of higher ed is under all kinds of pressure, I think unprecedented pressure. And you really step back and look at it. Higher education in the United States is a 380-year-old project. It started in 1636 when Harvard was founded. And for the most part, we've had almost 400 consecutive years of growth in stature, size, and influence. And today it's just under pressure. People can't figure out why in the world it's gotten so expensive. There's new competitors in terms of online learning and other tools. And so it's just under pressure. And then there's demographic pressure. So there's real pressure on the traditional business model. And I want Hope to be a leader in that conversation, not a follower. So I think it's fun. It's really exciting conversation. The institution has been through a period for a few years where there's just been some instability. And I think it's certainly fair for that to have impacted morale. And again, sometimes you need to look in the mirror and take a hard look at what we really look like. And there's just some areas where we're less healthy and where morale has been impacted. So I'm not afraid of that. And I think it's as I've said, it's okay to have problems. It is. Mm-hmm. What's not okay is to ignore your problems. And so the first thing is to just let's be honest with ourselves. What are some of the challenges? I happen to believe that there's never been a brighter time for Hope College. We have a really strong foundation, despite some of the uncertainty that we've been through. The people here are excellent. We have world-class academic scholars here, and we have great students. And we have the best brand name of any school in the world. We do. We're the only school I can think of that's not named after a person or geography. And we also have this really unique and vibrant mission that has a vibrant Christian atmosphere, but it's not prescriptive, based on opportunities, not requirements. And so we have the pieces to be a world-class school on the world stage. I think we belong on the world stage. And I think part of what we're going to go through over the next few years is a chance to look in the mirror and say, what's really holding us back? What's holding us back from the world stage? And I think if we can get it right, we can just skyrocket onto the national and international field of higher education. And then I think it's having a really, it's looking forward and having a really strong and compelling conviction about the future. And I think, getting people excited about where we're going is another good way to kind of work through some morale issues. I have a lot more questions than answers at this point. I've been telling the team here that I'm just going to go through a period where I'm asking a lot of questions, and I know that sometimes that can be annoying, but I have a lot to learn, and I'm excited to learn. So for now, I'm just kind of posing these as conversations that I want us as an institution and as a community with 30,000 plus alumni around the world who have a valuable perspective to offer because they've been through the before and after of Hope College and have transitioned from Hope into the working world. So it's not just about the community that's here in Holland, Michigan, but about the broader Hope College community all around the world. And so having a robust conversation with that whole community about how can we think about the future of learning and the future of the workforce and the business model of higher ed.
Sure. And, are there any specific areas that, or, that you might anticipate being a challenge as you kind of take on this position? With any new job, there's always going to be things that are harder than others. But anything that you've that's on your mind as, this is going to be difficult to address, or this is going to be, a recurring issue that we, have to deal with?
I think we've talked about it. I think the three biggest challenges that I see in the near term are diversity, cost of tuition, and just having a really healthy culture. And like I said, I think we've got the right pieces in place. I'm not afraid of those challenges. I think we've got the right pieces in place to go after those challenges and come through them in a really strong way. And the good news is that we're focused on it. Like I said, it's okay to have challenges. It is. If you ignore them, that's a problem. Then they get worse. But we're going after it in a pretty transparent way. The fact that I'm kind of a non-traditional president, and on the younger side and without a PhD, and there I'm so proud of Hope for having the guts to do something a little bit different. And I think if you look at higher education, it's going through pretty unprecedented times. And I think what Hope has done is basically said unprecedented times maybe require a bit of an unprecedented leader. That's a really powerful thing. And I'm excited to serve Hope and help lead Hope through kind of these times in higher education.
How is the campus different from then compared to now, I guess? Did you kind of come back a lot to see it develop and change?
I was back, last few years I'd come back 3 times a year as I was a trustee on the board. I was recused from the board last year, but before that I'd been on the board, so I'd come back 3 times a year. Gotcha. The campus looks a lot different than it did 20 years ago. There's a lot of new buildings. So yeah, the campus looks a lot different. But the essence of Hope is still the same, and the things I loved about Hope as a student are the things I love about Hope today, and they're the things that I think make Hope great in the world of higher education.